Now, when it comes to Fallout 76, there's no short chance of seeing the over-encumbered symbol. For that, we can thank the very low stash size that we're given. Whereas in fact, absolutely one thing that you can bet your whole entire camp on that you won't be seeing a lot of is that of the elusive Mothman. With a world-famous museum, a popular festival, and even a Hollywood movie representing the infamous beast, there's no escaping the notoriety of this cryptid. So let's absolutely waste no more time in delving into the lore within the folklore of Fallout 76. Now, although not the most prominent within the Fallout 76 E3 showcase clips, the Mothman is quite possibly the most famous of all West Virginia's folklore. Now, what I find particularly interesting about the choice of cryptid is how the developers plan on using him, or it. The Mothman origins stem from 1967 during the collapse of the Silver Bridge across the Ohio River. It claimed the lives of 46 drivers in total, but it was the sightings prior to that of a creature with glowing red eyes and a wingspan of 10 to 15 feet that almost served as an omen to oncoming disaster. The first recorded Mothman sighting took place on November 12, 1966 near Clendon in West Virginia. 5 men were in a cemetery preparing a grave for burial when they saw something they couldn't explain. Lifting off from the nearby trees was a brown-winged creature. The men held to the fact that what lifted off beyond the trees was no bird, but a humanoid of some kind. The creature was sighted in many places across West Virginia and surrounding states, but the largest number of sightings happened near the old West Virginia Ordnance Works, an area now known by the locals as the TNT area. It was here in the TNT area on the cold night of November 15, 1966, 3 days after the first sighting took place, that 2 young couples would encounter this bizarre creature. Roger and Linda Scarberry were driving with Steve and Mary Mallet through the area around midnight when Linda noticed, unbelievably, 2 large glowing red eyes in the darkness beside the Old North power plant. They soon learned that these eyes belonged to something that did not look human. It stood about 8 feet tall and had its wings folded against its back. However, Roger stalled in the road for a minute, inspecting the strange creature. The true horror began, however, when the creature spread its wings and pursued them down Highway 62 to the Point Pleasant city limits at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. We may well have the Mothman to look forward to as an enemy within Fallout 76, but is there more to this creature for us to find out? Now, the developers have said that in regards to Mothman, they've wanted this creature to have a build-up throughout your journey in Fallout 76, so it would make sense to me if not only do we have the creature to look forward to, but the mystery behind the lore itself. Point Pleasant, a small town west of Vault 76, nestling alongside a winding river and shrouded by forest, it would be apparent that it had seen better days before the bombs had dropped. The faction known as the Responders had set up an outpost within the town, but were overrun by the Scorched a little before 2102. However, although the Scorched still lay claim to this town, something a little more sinister lies within its crumbling husk. A shrine and a museum dedicated to the infamous Mothman stand prominent in the town square of Point Pleasant, reflecting a sense of pride that its real-life counterpart holds. Only this legendary Mothman of Appalachia is regarded to some as a god. Inside the apartment of Point Pleasant resident Jeff Lang, we find a note from his friend Rich Wilson, the owner of Wilson's Brothers Garage, telling him that he has left his keys at his workplace. Their relationship seems rather close, as Richard allows Jeff to let himself into his property to retrieve his keys. However, both Jeff and Richard share a rather disturbing connection. They are both members of the cult of the Mothman, with Richard being very active. Standing on the side of a hill, Rich Wilson's house looks like any other. But if we follow the stairs to the basement inside, we come across the disturbing shrine he has built to the Mothman, with what also seems to be the remains of what we can assume is a live animal sacrifice. Retrieving the keys from Richard Wilson's home, we head back to the Mothman Museum. Labelled bathroom keys, we could be somewhat led into a false sense of security as to where exactly these are actually leading us. Once again, following the stairs down towards the basement, it's only fitting that we are welcomed by what we can only presume is a place of worship for such an outrageous deity, the Church of the Cult of the Mothman. Within the church, we find some congregation notes, and according to the text, on October 22nd, 2077, only a day before nuclear Armageddon was unleashed across the world, the cult conducted a ritual to summon the Mothman. One member, identified as Brother Charles, claimed that the ritual succeeded and the Mothman had warned him of a terrible flood that would occur the next day, and the only way of surviving this predicted flood was by reaching high ground. The cult took this warning seriously and informed its other members. We only need visit the riverbanks behind Point Pleasant to see exactly what goes on inside this dark cult and its absurd rituals. Mothman eggs litter the floor, as well as candles and plaques depicting the cult's infamous symbol. Don't let these pleasantries fool you, as not only does animal sacrifice occur, but also human. That's all according to the grisly remains of what we can only assume was a human gift to the Mothman on this sacrificial table. Not too far from Point Pleasant, southeast of Vault 76, is a location known as Landview Lighthouse. A rather odd place for a lighthouse to be situated, it's also the setting for a rather odd event, the Path to Enlightenment. Inside the lighthouse, after climbing the winding staircase, we set upon a body of a Mothman cultist known only as Brother Moncrief. While residing at Landview Lighthouse, he wrote a note to his High Priestess. It read, "High Priestess, I was right. The fireflies come here to mate. They go a little crazy and I got hurt pretty bad, but I was able to gather enough goo to light the lamp. Now I just have to wait. The great Mothman will come. He has to." Brother Moncrief's skeleton lies next to his note. Whether he died waiting or from his wounds is another mystery. It's safe to say in the world of Fallout 76, particularly Appalachia, that the Mothman has quite the following. But it's not just the residents of Point Pleasant that take him so seriously. Sitting between the Savage Divide and the forest of Appalachia lies this tiny town of Helvetia. Helvetia was settled by German and Swiss immigrants from Brooklyn, New York in 1869. It was settled mostly by artisans and has historically been associated with its cheesemaking and food festivals in which masks are worn. However, on the outskirts of this town lies a church with an effigy to not any normal god, but the Mothman. And inside, there's no hiding who the followers of this church reaped praise upon. Although I myself haven't found any notes, holotapes, or outside lore on the past history of this church, it's interesting to ponder whether the original congregation were forced out or forced to follow. And that brings an end to our look at the Mothman within Fallout 76. It's been incredibly interesting and fun researching and just exploring the landscape of Appalachia to try and discover more secrets about the Mothman. I do believe that there's more content within the game itself in regards to the cult of the Mothman and the fact that there's several different Mothmans that you can come across, the Wise Mothman, Scorched Mothman, and so on and so on. I'd like to think that there might be some timed events or something like that in regards to more stuff about the Mothman, because I feel that the story and lore is too strong for that just to be it within the game. There has to be more, so hopefully we can find more. But if you have enjoyed this look at the Mothman, please leave me a like, please leave me a comment. And also, if you haven't already, why not subscribe? If you want more Fallout 76 videos as well, let me know in the comment section down below. But I guess until next time, see you later, bye. Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you like what you saw, right? If you did enjoy it, leave me a like and leave me a comment in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, why not hit subscribe? If you do hit subscribe though, make sure you hit the notification bell, because that tells YouTube that you want to know every time I upload a video or whether I go live or something. Until then, see you later, bye.